In the last part, we moved into the formal living room, complete with library and conversation area. We moved into the WI clubhouse with a chess table and lots of nectar, before finishing things up with the upper hallway with grand piano. So let's continue on with Henford Manor. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel and welcome back to World Renovation, Henford on Bagley Edition. Happy June, we finally made it to Pride Month. Our month technically should be the entire year, but you know, celebrations to everyone in the community. I thought I'd bring back another part of World Renovation so we can get cracking and finally finish this manor house. This will be the second to last part actually. I've taken in account all your comments and I'm going to finish the butler, the maid's room, and also the second guest room. And that means that we can finally finish off this manor house with one more part, which will be Lady Evelyn's entire suite. And we can do an entire overview as well. Thank you so much for the response to my Let's Build British series. I really enjoyed how that house came out and looking forward to doing something a bit more community lot based. Had a few comments requesting that, so that's definitely something I want to do for the next video in that series. But without further ado, I'll get into the game. We're actually in the morning light because there's some really nice shadows that are coming through. So just as a reminder, this will be Winston, the butler's abode with his little ensuite. As usual, I've taken the liberty of choosing the wallpaper and the flooring. The key difference with the staff rooms in particular are that it's less decorative. The wooden floors are just a lot plainer. Also, the kind of paneling is a lot more kind of plainer in a way, with a lot more of older style wallpaper. I imagine this hasn't really been renovated. Just to keep in keeping with the storyline that Lady Evelyn is kind of a mean boss. I thought I'd bring out another fireplace. This, where is this from actually? From the Horse Ranch Pack. It's really tied into Winston's storyline. Perhaps he like brews his own tea here, you know, a bit of reprieve from Lady Evelyn. Little ensuite bathroom, nothing too special. Then swoop over to the maid's room. I kind of reflected the same wallpaper and obviously the flooring, but I came across an inspiration picture actually. I was looking for kind of inspiration for maids' rooms, Victorian-esque maids' rooms, and there's a lot of bedrooms that were kind of in a curtained alcove, and I really wanted to make that apparent, so I've used these curtain rods and also the columns and just created a spandrel moment with some curtains. I think these are from Businesses and Hobbies. That's really came in handy, having finally some plain curtains. So yeah, imagine there'll be like a bed there and perhaps a desk. Also an ensuite. I mean, they're very lucky to have this, but for storyline purposes, I thought it didn't really make sense for the two household members to use the main house bathrooms. So I've made that apparent that it's, you know, just the maids, just the butlers. Moving on to the guest room, the guest suite. Pulled out this really beautiful pattern paper from the Vampires pack, and it's got such a beautiful reflection in it. Really like that soft grey tone as well. Works with the fireplaces that we've brought out. And I also pulled out these curtains, which are from Realm of Magic. I've never used these before. I was going through the catalogue to see what worked, and weirdly, I kind of enjoyed them. The color tones and the patterns, and I mean, it's not really realistic having this wooden kind of, I don't know what you would call this, but over a stone window. But I do enjoy it in this room. And this has two double doors, and then the second double door goes into an ensuite bathroom. So you can see there's a lot of a fancier kind of moment here with the tiles and the finishings. I'll make that apparent with the bathroom suite that we pull out. So without further ado, let's move on to Winston the butler's suite. Okay, so I think I'm going to go for a kind of mossy green colour scheme with the brown, just so it's not all one tone. Also came across these nightstands, which I think I might do as like a matching set. This is from the base game, which is quite nice, and it brings in that green tone as well. Now, this room is a bit of an awkward shape, and I'd quite like a seating moment here. to make use of the fireplace. So I think I might nestle the bed in the corner and make use of this kind of L-shaped alcove. And let's also place the bedside table next to the bed. Again, I thought it was more appropriate for household staff members to have a single bed rather than a double bed. Didn't feel very in keeping with what household staff would really have experienced back in the day, I guess. Let's get a lamp. Something simple, nothing ostentatious in these rooms. Perhaps this one, actually. Do you come in a black? You do. And then maybe perhaps a buck. I've actually made it apparent that Winston wears glasses, and I know we have that glasses clutter. So I kind of want to make that apparent here and imagine that maybe he's reading a book on his night off, or when he finishes his shift, I guess you could say. And then let's try and get some like an alarm clock of some descript. We did get this one with the timed event. I'm wondering if it's a bit too modern. Is it weird to have this here? Maybe if I signs it down? Oh, it's nice in the dark brown, actually. Yeah. Just gonna find that spectacle decor item that I mentioned. This is what I was mentioning. I think this is from the clutter kit. Not sure what specific name that is, but it's from one of the clutter kits. And I would like a bit of wall decoration. Now, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. I'm trying to also make sure I'm not doubling up on all the kind of wall, the wall paintings that we have in the catalogue, because unfortunately we don't have that many to stretch across an entire manor build. I think this might be nice, but in a different swatch. Maybe bringing in some of that dark wood and goldy accents. Yeah, that's nice. Just adds a bit of interest to the wall, I guess. And then, although the fireplace would provide warmth to the room, I would quite like to add a radiator here. Again, for a bit of realism, I suppose you could say. Bit nice and toasty there. And then I also had in mind that, I don't know if it will come up if I type trunk, but I quite like the idea that staff have trunks in their room, as if they're kind of ready to go at any moment's notice. So I'm going to use the trunk from the Life and Death pack, but also this one, which is from, I want to get this right for my own memory. It's the Basement Treasures kit. And what I had in mind that we could have an extra trunk on top of what would be the kind of dresser, I guess. I think I might go for everything that's matching. So it's all kind of cohesive. Can't imagine that anything would have been bought new. This has definitely been here since the house has been built. Let's tone you down. Maybe that. I think I'm going to have to use my OMSP shelf. Are you floating? Oh no, you're not. Oh, you're not against the wall though, are you? I also put out a pile of books as well. Imagine Winston's a big reader and he spends his solo time reading books. I guess get away from it all, get away from it all. Go for a freestanding mirror. I went for this one from the Get Together pack in a dark brown. I just thought maybe the kind of gilded accents looked a little too OTT for this room, but it still has that kind of element of decorative wood. I don't even know what I'm talking about, to be honest with you. Wood decoration. Maybe we could have a longer dresser here. I wonder if we have kind of a side table of some descript that fits in with this style of dresser. This is the one I was thinking, just to have an element of more storage, I guess. Also pulled out this display case. So, you know, storylines, maybe Winston's an avid fisherman on his days off. And he goes around the lakes in Henford. So that was quite nice. Also changes up the need to pull some artwork from the catalogue and make use of some of the wall decorations instead. Now I'd quite like to add a bit of music here, but perhaps we could go for the gramophone actually. I think that turns quite nice. We go for that one. Let's go for the lighter wood one. And a telephone. I did want to make it apparent that Lady Evelyn can reach her staff at all hours, which is very unfortunate, particularly for the maid as well, since the maid is living in such close proximity to Lady Evelyn. And some flowers. That's quite nice finishing touch. And while I'm here, I might pick out a plant just for a bit of greenery. What about you from the base game? Nice. I hate that green, personally. Never looks realistic to me. Yeah, let's go for this one. How about some extra lighting? I've pulled out this wall chandelier. Again, a lot simpler than what we had through the entirety of the manor, but you know, reflective of the nature of this kind of room. Maybe we can go for something just very simple. And let's tone you down as well. Neutral white with an 84. Nice. I'm wondering what else to put here. I did have in mind that Winston has his own secondary set of keys. Maybe I could do that in a different swatch. I've gone for a coat rack here. Just make it apparent that Winston kind of has to run in and out at a moment's notice. Also went through the catalogue and found this lounge chair where he can sit and take some peaceful moments without the worry of household stresses. I was originally going to go for a high back fabric one, but I quite like the back to this, the structure to it, the decorative element. I think this could use with a cushion though. Looks a little bit not very comfortable. Maybe a matching cream swatch. Nice. Let's get a side table. Need something circular and simple. Not you. Maybe you. From the Horse Ranch pack. Should we tone you down in a dark brown? I think we should. Let me try and see if I can find something to put in here. Maybe a tray of some descript. Okay, I've made this space look a lot more lived in. I pulled out a tray, as I mentioned. This came with the a clutter kit as well, or a butnock actually. It looks a little bit modern, but I thought it was nice that they had an open book there, as if Winston's been breeding in situ. I also pulled out a cross-stitch kit. Thought it was a nice, funny storyline. Adds a gameplay element as well. You know, maybe he enjoyed stitching, sewing, embroidering in his time off. Also brought out a stool, which I sized down, so not functional, but thought it was a nice element. Maybe he could put his feet up. And found this rug from, I believe, where are you? From the Werewolf pack, in a green, to tie in all the kind of green elements we have. And I think that's just enough detail. Didn't want to go overboard since, you know, this is a household staff member and they wouldn't have that many possessions. But I do like this storyline with the trunks, which I think I'm going to make apparent in the maid's room once we get to it. Let's move on to the bathroom. Now, again, nothing too fancy, and it's quite a tight space to work with, so wondering if maybe we can just pull out the base game bathtub with shower combo. Are you clipping in? Just slightly, but I think I can look past that. As for a sink, where's that? Oh, this one, yeah, from the Life and Death pack. I think it's really nice that it kind of looks Victorian-esque and has a towel as well, so, you know, frees up some space. Might just go for the plain white. You are cutting in a touch. Can I get away with it? I think I can. Let's get a medicine cabinet, shall we? Okay, I've jazzed the sink up, pulled out some combs. You know, Winston always likes to look very dapper and put together. Some products here as well, and the dentures, which I thought was a funny touch. Definitely hope nothing is floating. Oh, went off into oblivion then. Let's also pick out a loo. Something that is very classic, I guess you could say. Maybe this one. In a better swatch though. Yeah, this one. Do some products there actually. Screaming out for some products. Yeah, just pulled out some lotions and potions. Also a trusty toilet roll. Cannot forget that. And I also had a blind picked out prior to this, just to fit the window. Lovely. Don't know if I mentioned as well, but I've gone around the entirety of the manor, which took a hot minute. Added some switches just to add another layer of realism to the manor house. This came together very nicely. And I think it is nice that Winston has his own personal space as well, you know. It doesn't look entirely run down or anything. Still looks, it's a bit shabby, some of the furniture, but I think it came together lovely. Let's move on to the maid's room, Mabel the maid. I'm going to pick out a single bed. How about this one from Discover University? I've put it in this pink tone to kind of correlate with the wallpaper. And it looks just uncomfortable enough to serve as a maid's bed. And this is the matching bedside table. But I hope it's coming across that it looks kind of realistic. I just thought it was cool to break up a pretty basic shaped room with some extra detail. Ooh. Why is this object gigantic, by the way? Come in better swatches. This could be a nice storyline in that in the intro to this household, I mentioned that Mabel's mother kind of forced her into work and her family lives in beyond Henford village. I think maybe this would be nice. I mean, it is cracked, it doesn't really make sense, but maybe, you know, when she was being shipped off to Henford Manor, this fell out of the car or something and she had to run and pick it up and grab it, and this is her and her mother or something. And she's kept it as a memento. Might leave that there. Making up storylines in my head, I don't know. Playing fantasy. I quite like another like collage group of photographs here or something. Gone for this quadrant. Felt in keeping with Mabel's style. Dress up this side table, shall we? Let's go for a table lamp. Maybe something that's in the kind of more traditional wheelhouse. This is kind of cool, actually. It's giving the impression it's kind of a gas lamp, which I'm kind of enjoying. And has that pink hue. I wonder if oh no, it's nice. I was going to say, if I tone down the lighting, it would change shade, but I think that's a nice addition to this room. I'm also going to do the buck moment as well. I can't, you know, they don't have technology in their rooms. They don't have TVs or anything, so I imagine they read a lot of books, Mabel and Winston. I might get a alarm clock here as well, but actually go for this one from one of the timed events in a gold. So it looks a little bit more traditional. And again, going to copy over a phone. I mean, it would have been great to have, I don't know how this would have worked, but like a bell or something, a bell system. I was having in my head, like, from watching as a child, the animated Cinderella film. And that's how I kind of picture this household running, as if like Lady Evelyn's the evil stepmother. And she rings the bell whenever she needs something. But, you know, imagine this is all connected via one line to Lady Evelyn's room. Add a bit of comfort here with a rug and something that will fit in the space. And looks quite traditional as well. Do you come in a kind of pinkier swatch? You do. Yeah, I'll go for you. Working with the tones of the room. Nice little alcove space as well. Just enough personality. Now, I'd quite like to keep this area free for cleaning supplies. When I was building this, I didn't really think about adding kind of a, what do you call it? Like a closet, like a cleaning cupboard for the household to use. So I'm just going to makeshift one here, I guess. But in the meantime, I might pull out a dresser to make sense of this. It's going to need to be a small one though. Does this work as a mirror? Oh, it does. So then I don't have to add an extra mirror. Let's go for this one then. And then also everything kind of matches together. I think I'll pull out another trunk as well from the werewolf kit. Should you come in a better shade? Yes, you do. Lovely. Yeah, and I mentioned I want to do some kind of cleaning moment here. We actually do have this dustpan and brush downstairs, but I'm wondering if I just search for it, it will come up. It did not. I'm gonna find everything that I need and we can place it together before we move on to what I'm predicting would be a kind of desk area. Cleaning supplies have been sourced. The laundry day kit really came in use for this. So we have an ironing board. I have a dustpan and brush. I'll just lower you down to that level. We also have one of these rub boards. I was weighing up the idea of having a washing line or kind of laundry room, but I don't really want to waste the regalness of the outdoor space, so I'm just going to pretend that washing happens off camera. And I found this cleaning caddy as well. This is from one of the kits, clutter kits. Nice bit of realism objects. Not usable, unfortunately, but what can you do? So yeah, not really realistic that there's a cleaning corner of the maid's room, but adds a bit to the storylines. Now, in this section, quite like to add a desk. Just a writing desk though, nothing with a laptop on. That wouldn't really make sense for her. And just a simple kind of wooden one. We fit into this. Wondering if it comes in a better swatch though. Nothing too warm. Oh, you do? Is this from... Where are you from? The Seasons pack. Oh, it's nice that the tones of the words match actually. For once, Sims team. I'm going to copy over some of the bucks that we've used for Winston's room, but I think I'll just change up the swatch to something that works with this color palette. Let's go for some purples. Let's copy over this lamp. Yeah. Yeah, and I'll tone you down to an 84. And maybe pull out a nice floral arrangement. Add a bit of life to this room. Nothing too big though. Yeah. We have that quill object. That'd be kind of cool. I'm gonna pull that out, and maybe a bit of music as well to suit the vibe. Pulled out this kind of more modern but still vintage radio. Made sense. I've had to size this and the quill down. They were massive. I need to get a desk chair and something that's very uncomfortable looking. So perhaps this one from the Horse Ranch pack. I think that's what she's fine, to be honest. We're very close. See if I can shift some things along. Because I still want this room to be usable, you know, when we get to gameplay. I think it's a bit better. I wonder where I can put this picture. Maybe if I size you down and then it looks over the desk. Maybe she can, Mabel can write letters and postcards to her family and send them off, and that's a nice reminder of her mum. Also, I don't imagine that her mum forced her out of her own will. It's more just out of necessity, I guess, you know. Perhaps the house needs the extra funds and she sends money home. Yeah, I quite like that storyline, actually. Need something here. I've gone for these bags from what I believe is another clutter kit. In those tones as well. Perhaps she kind of does some of the shopping as well, so makes sense to have some bags on the wall. And as for the bathroom, it will be a copy and paste job from Winston's ensuite. Doesn't really make sense for it to have anything different. Ooh, where are you? It's find a good orientation though, because this is a bit of a smaller room. Well, it's not ideal to put the bathtub here, but maybe if I squeeze in the toilet in the corner, everything should fit and be usable. Okay, added some extra detailing. I actually pulled out a bar of soap and toothbrush and toothpaste for this area. Also a bit of products as well. This window keeps glitching annoyingly. And also a bathroom rug. Oh, before I forget, let's add the toilet roll holder. In this swatch. I don't think I can really fit anything else in here, so I might leave it at that. You can just see as well, just to show there's a slight variation in the wallpapers I've used, so it's not all in copy and paste, but still fits with the kind of colour scheme that we've got going on with this area. Nice. I think we got a lot out of such a skinny room, really. Let's move on to the final room, which is the secondary guest room. Now, I quite like the idea of using these bedside tables in this really rich chocolatey brown. It's not quite a black or a brown, and also pulling in the grey element through the silver hardware. So I'm going to make that apparent, I think, throughout this room. This is actually from the base game, and it's one of the more high-ticket items. Now, as for the bed, I was toying up with the idea of having something with a canopy, but I think I might save something like this for Evelyn's room, but we still need something that feels very ostentatious. Wondering if this one would work actually, and this is from the base game. Just to, you know, make it really apparent that these are so different to the staff rooms, staff bedrooms. I think that swatch is fine as well. Neutral enough. Add 2 nightstands, shall we? Yeah, let's do that. Another kind of ottoman moment. Or if I type in bench, will it come up the same? I'm not sure. But something that feels plush and comfortable. I'm in a better swatch, I wonder. Oh, you do? I think this one's a bit better actually because it's got the more kind of creamier tones. Yeah. Let's add a seating moment around here. Let's get the grid off. Perhaps instead of having, because we don't really have that much room to put 2 armchairs, so could have a love seat here perhaps. Maybe this was like Lady Evelyn's bedroom when she was a child. I'm just thinking out loud. Bedroom as a child, and obviously this was her parents' suite, so she's since moved in here, but kind of retained the wallpaper and those kind of romantic features. Maybe she wasn't always such an awful person. Would you work in here actually? We could match this. Yeah, let's go for that. I think I need to get a bit of a spatial awareness here actually. I'm very close. Might just move everything along. Yeah, I like the spacing there. Bit more of a flow. I think here we could have a desk actually. I was thinking about maybe doing a dresser, but again, I'm just going to save that probably for Lady Evelyn's suite. I get away with this. Come in a dark swatch. Quite nice actually. Pulls in the grey and the cream tones that we've got going on. I think I'm going to use you. I think we need a chair as well. Something that feels a bit more decorative than the one we had in Mabel's room. I've gone for this chair from the base game and in turn toned this desk down so it matches. I like the other swatch, but I think this one works better with this really deep chocolatey brown. I think they actually match, to be honest. Also pulled out some lamps as well, in the vibe and the tones of the room. I think here we can have some candlesticks, as I've been doing throughout the manor house, wherever out there. Oh, not the candle, not the fireplace, Chris. I think these come in a silver, don't they? Yeah. And let's get a clock. Oh god, what am I doing? I'm going here, there, and everywhere. Yeah, let's go for the simpler clock here rather than the fancy one. Now, I'm not sure whether to do the same trick as the living area with this mirror moment. But again, I might save that for more of Lady Evelyn's room. This might be a nice idea, actually. The kind of sketches from maybe one of the bed as well. Do you come in a dark brown? Yes, you do. Yes, you do. Maybe a bit higher. I don't quite know what this would signify. Obviously, it's not the manor house, but perhaps it's just, you know, a secondary home that the Henfords owned and Evelyn's father kind of helped construct, and this pays homage to it. Yeah, I like that. And it works with the tones of the room as well, which again, as you know, is very important to me. Dress up this area. Might just go for a floral bouquet. Found the bouquet. Also pulled out some books, you know, bit of extra decoration. In this corner, I think we might have space for a plant. Something that's a little bit more traditional looking. I think I have the one in mind from the base game. I can find it. Yeah, this one. The potted palm. In a dark brown. Again, pulled out all the kind of furniture fireplace furniture that's needed for this area. Oh, you clipping in? How dare you? Yeah. Now, I think there's, from memory, a entire bedroom suite that matches. And especially using things that I never use, which is... Where are you? I can't even find you. It's a really small... This really small wardrobe, but I think it works for this room. It reminds me of the wardrobe from... I'm on a Disney thing today, apparently. From Beauty and the Beast, the talking wardrobe. I love that film. To be honest, I used to be such a big Disney child growing up because my aunt actually used to work for Disney, the store, not Disney World, and she would let me borrow VHSs. Is that the right word? VHSs. Every week when I would go to visit her, she'd have this whole collection of all the animated films, and it brings back a lot of good memories because I was obsessed with the animation style, and it's a shame that Disney's lost that. I think over time it's cool that they've done some live actions, but clearly I don't agree with the backlash that Snow White got, and I think it was really unfair to pin it all on Rachel Ziegler. But yeah, I think it's, in a weird way, it's good that it's kind of halted Disney from doing all the live action remakes. Be nice to do something original, you know. But let me know if you are a Disney head too, and what your favorite animated film is. Be very intrigued to know. Being a gay child, we are in the Pride month, so I may as well talk about it. Being a gay child, I used to watch all the kind of princess films, but I also loved the live action Mary Poppins film. Remember my mum telling me I used to be obsessed with watching that. But yeah, Disney side talk. While I've been rambling away, I just pulled out a dresser with a bouquet of flowers and this very fancy looking mirror. Let's maybe get another lamp on here. Tone you down though. Yeah. While we're on the topic actually of Pride, how are you guys celebrating? Are you celebrating? Are you going to any Prides in your local area? I think we will do London Pride. I've done it for quite a few years now. My work as well is asking for volunteers to do the float. Oh, where have you gone? How dare you? Is asking for volunteers to join the float, but not that I don't support that, but I think I might just go with friends instead and enjoy the day. Hopefully it's a nice sunny day as well. London Pride is always so fun and full of such great energy. If you are going to any Prides, let me know. I'm very interested. I know we recently had Mighty Hoopla, and my friends went and had a really good time. I unfortunately did not get a ticket, so next year for sure I'll go, but they had some really funny throwback acts. And Kylie Minogue is also in London, so it's a true gay week this week. Do I like this rug? I think I'm gonna go for this one. This is actually from the base game in this pale blues, but I really severely need to size it up, and hopefully it doesn't look too pixelated. Oh. I think I can get away with it. I think I might just keep this corner free. Actually, no. I'm going to put a freestanding mirror now that I've remembered. And maybe this is where we could have more of a decorative moment here. What would work? I think this is actually matching with all the bedroom furniture. Fab. I was worried then it was going to look too blank. Oh, I love the lighting engine in The Sims. I mean, it really pays having a high-end PC, let me tell you, but I love how beautiful this game looks. I know people cry out for The Sims 5, and it would be cool to see developments But for me, I really enjoy this game and I'd be sad to see it go. I'm actually happy they're adding more and more packs throughout the years, so, and there's a future still for The Sims 4. Yeah, I think this is a nice balance and a nice flow. Let's move to the final room, which is the guest bathroom, and then I'll give a bit of an overview of what we've done. Okay, I've made a start and pulled out some of the bathroom suites. Found this shower cubicle from the Front pack, and I love this realism of the extra shower head, but I think I might just... actually, I don't know. Maybe I'll just leave it in the corner. I was gonna maybe boost it, but I think the turns work in this room, so I'm not too worried about that, actually. Pulled out a very fancy toilet. This actually reflects the toilet they've got downstairs. And before I forget, let's get the toilet roll holder. But in a silver. Just to make it apparent that, you know, this is a much fancier bathroom than the household members. Pulled out this basin from the university kit. Lovely bit of like marble top. I really like the tap detail. Wanted to make more of a vanity moment here, so hence of why I've added the lights. Let's look for a mirror, shall we? Oh, far too big. I really wish we could size down. That would have been the perfect mirror. But unfortunately we can't. How about this? You're a bit high. Yeah, let's do this one. In a silver. And we actually have space for a freestanding bath. Would love one of those in my own house, let me tell you. Last autumn we went to the Cotswolds and they had a freestanding bath and it was absolute heaven. We stayed at the Ball, if anyone knows that. And if you haven't, I fully recommend it. Everyone should go. But they had all these like amazing products and a candle that you could burn while you were staying there, and really enjoyed the Cotswolds as well. It was such a beautiful trip and gave me a lot of inspiration, build inspiration for this series actually. When I was going through some pictures for references, I actually remembered to look through my camera rolls, so there'll be definitely some Cotswolds inspired builds in the future in this series. I'm really excited to, you know, move on from the manor house. Let's look for a rug. Oh, I've just pulled out the freestanding bath from Life and Death. Wait, is it Life and Death actually? Yeah, just to match with the kind of sink basin that we have. Might do this actually. The half mat. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get a shower mat here as well in a white. Methinks. Yeah. Space for a plant. Maybe one that's on a stand though. Found the perfect plant and also just finished off this bathroom with some soap in a dish and a hand towel and some bath towels as well. And I think, friends, this part is complete. I'm gonna give an overview of what we've done. Let's get into tab mode, shall we? So, oh gosh. So this is Winston's lovely little room. Many a buck and his glasses, you know. Trunks, which I thought was a kind of a funny, realistic touch. His sewing box. His little chair as well, where he can listen to music. Let's go into his little ensuite bathroom. All his products. I think it's funny that actually he has more products than Mabel, but you know, he likes to take care of his appearance. And let's swoop on over to Mabel's room. Oh, here we go. I think we did manage to do a lot for such a small space, and I do really like this curtained area as well. Thank you, Pinterest, for that inspiration. A nice little bed alcove with a little bit of personality. Poor Mabel has all the cleaning supplies in her room. A desk space with, again, some luggage as well for some realism. Little picture of her mum and her as a child. Another little ensuite bathroom. Products on the wall. Let's come out of here into the last room that we just finished, which is the guest suite, and these really beautiful soft grey, blue, cream tones. That really rich chocolate wood accent. Very fancy room. I actually really enjoyed those curtains in here actually. And let's go into the guest bathroom, which we just finished finishing. That light's really nice coming through the window. Lovely freestanding bath. Yeah, I'm very happy with how this came out. Now, very excitedly, we have one section left of the manor house. I've actually made a start. Sneak peek, trying to disguise it. I've made a start and pulled out some things, but this will be the final part coming up, which I'm going to aim for next week, but maybe if I'm feeling productive, I can get another part out and we can wrap up this manor this week. Keep posted. But we've got a kind of front waiting area, foyer section, and then this is the main bedroom with an off wing for the bathroom and a walk-in wardrobe, so lots to play with. I think I'm gonna go balls to the wall, ostentatious, super lavish in here, and it's such a nice space to work with as well. But let's try and find, where should we land? You know what, instead of going into a fancy room, let's go to Winston's room, shall we? But thank you so much for watching. If you do like this video, please give it a like and subscribe and leave me some lovely comments below. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.